Warning. It is the opinion of the 4th Street Productions LLC and the Working Perspectives podcast that we should inform you that some of the language used in this recording could possibly be considered offensive. You have been warned, so if you decide to listen to the recording, then don't complain about the language. Hi, hello, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to talk to some real people about some real things, living real lives, doing real stuff. This is the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle. I've come today and brought back again is the one and only Rich Latta. And our guest today is the number 4 Bellator number 4 ranked lightweight in the world, the one and only Sidney Outlaw.
Soon to be number 1. Actually, champion.
That's the goddamn right.
Not good with numbers.
Amen, man. Amen. And in case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You're also on Instagram, Working Perspectives Podcast, and you can join us on the Twitter and the TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workperspectives@gmail.com. And please like, subscribe so we can keep this party going. Rich, you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Sidney, you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's get this thing started. Let's go.
It's our objective to be effective by voicing societies. Working perspective, exploring your day and how you get paid. Launching a new episode every Tuesday. Your day can transform while we inform with new episodes available on every platform. So check out our vibe and how we get live. Then do us a solid. Share and subscribe. We're just sharing. We're just sharing. We're just sharing. Working perspectives.
All right. So on the show today, the man, the myth, the one and only Sidney Outlaw. Sid, thanks for coming on. I'm super happy to have you. I want to get into this chronologically. So you were born in the city, right? In Philly. And then how old were you when you moved out to the subs?
Graduated high school here in Sauterton.
Okay.
Sauterton, PA.
All right.
I did my whole high school experiences.
Was in Souderton?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
cool.
you moved up here in like the beginning of end of middle school, beginning of junior high, something like that.
As soon as I came up here, that's when I was introduced to MMA. Met him. Then I
through Milford at the church, right? Was it Milford Pinky at the church? One of the church.
You know what?
Because he was an old friend of mine.
Yeah, at what was the church called? Calvary.
Yeah,
I think
so.
Honestly, I think it's one of those things where no matter where you guys were introduced, that trajectory would have been there regardless, right?
Yeah.
Like you would have ended up here.
Yeah,
it was God's plan in a way that you guys
actually had. It's funny you said that because my first instructor wasn't Coach Rich. It was Rosenzo. Yeah, you know him.
Yeah,
and I didn't really understand. I'm like, so I'm like, we grappled and the gi. And I'm like, well, this isn't what I saw on the TV. I'm like, because he had a guy.
Yeah.
He had a guy like, as one of like the poster, and I don't know anybody. I just see a poster. I'm like, I saw this guy on TV. This is what I want to do. Whatever this guy is doing.
Yeah.
At the time, we all labeled it like UFC.
it was a smaller jiu-jitsu school.
Yeah, very small. Very small.
Yeah, very small.
And I guess he got upset and he said something like, "Well, if you want that, that's down the street."
Yeah, he sent him over to me.
Yeah. But he didn't like I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna
He wasn't happy about it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna find the one down the street.
Yeah.
Long story short,
Yeah.
it was I had to.
Yeah.
You were only there for a month, I think, right? Yeah, it was a month, something like that. Because he called me and told me,
Yeah,
I got a kid coming to you.
Yeah.
He's really talented. He's gonna be more your.
I'm over
pretty
blessed.
And I was like, okay, sounds good, thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how old were you at the time? You were what, 13 maybe? 13, 14?
Yeah, around that time, like.
Yeah.
He didn't look like this.
Well,
Yeah.
it's funny you say that. Rich has a saying and a joke he'll throw around he'll say that Sid's mom didn't drop off Mike Tyson. She dropped off Steve Urkel, right?
And then he goes to me, he goes,
I have-
have you seen Urkel lately? I'm talking about the old Urkel.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Urkel now.
Yeah, Urkel now, forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. I looked him up after he said that. I was like, oh shit.
But no, but when you started here, right? Had you started wrestling already, or was that after you came
My
here?
first art was jujitsu.
Okay.
I mean, Coach Rich did jujitsu, and he was like, "Well, why don't you wrestle? It's free."
Yeah.
And in high school,
Yep.
I did that.
Yeah.
Coach Rich is like a freaking gangster, bro.
Yeah.
It was like after wrestling, he was like, "All right, don't forget, 7:00 MMA guys here,"
Mhm.
and he just walked away. I'm like, "What does that mean? Like wrestle, wrestle, and then come here?"
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wrestled and came here.
And ran here sometimes.
Yeah.
Golly.
I could not, but like after wrestling, I'm like, dude, he hates me.
Yeah.
He hates me.
This
You
guy
gotta
just wants
go.
to beat my Plus 2 wrestling practice. I mean, I think that's one thing, and we can talk about it because right now you're primarily training in Florida, right? Like that's your
Well,
home
I
base.
live.
You live in Florida. So then, and that's like, because you were with, you're training a top team.
American Top Team. Yeah, I'm
Right.
training at American Top Team.
And
I'm gonna
the-
come down here. I know Rich Latta
hmm
and the Gracies.
Yeah.
Duh.
But you've been into like the South, and we all wrestled coming up. There is a big difference wrestling in Pennsylvania and wrestling everywhere else. So when
Yeah.
Rich told you like, hey, join your high school wrestling team, I don't know how many kids I told that to in here. Like, if you want to do this, best thing you can do is join your high school wrestling team.
Yeah.
Right. And so you already had the jujitsu kind of base and you transitioned that into wrestling. How did you like the wrestling and how do you think that's helped you so far in your career?
Well, man, it's funny you say that because a lot of people always ask me like, "Oh, he's a wrestler," or "He's what college you wrestle for?" or this is wrestling, and my wrestling is actually very good. I listen, and it's kind of like a coincidence that the area we're at, it's great
Great
at
wrestling.
wrestling. People mention like Russia or other places, Iran. The list goes on and on and on.
Right.
My opinion, my experience, like if I had to fight a fighter from anywhere else, if he's from PA with a good head on his shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
I'm focusing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm breaking up all relationships.
I think Tri-State, Pennsylvania, New
Yeah.
Jersey, New York.
Yeah.
That's a deadly fight.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's producing the highest level grapplers between the high level jiu-jitsu academies and the high level wrestling. You see that merger now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, we've talked about it before where when we were coming up, you could wrestle at school for free. You could wrestle in the Olympics, but that was about it. With the birth of the UFC and Bellator, right? That's the pros for wrestling.
And one
So,
FC too.
yeah,
Another huge league.
Yeah.
One of the best fighters that we also talk about is John Jones. He's
Yeah.
from New York.
Yeah.
He wrestled in
Wrestled.
that area.
Yeah.
I just think it's like a coincidence, but it's kind of like one of the best I'm saying one of the best fighter, the best grappler.
Yeah.
It's not a coincidence. However,
Mhm.
it's common sense isn't so common.
Yeah.
That's something I definitely
Look at Weidman from
Weidman.
Long Island.
Yeah,
Out of Matt Serra's
yeah,
gym.
Matt
I mean,
Serra.
again, another good jiu-jitsu guy, solid wrestler. He wrestled for Hofstra.
Oh, there's a million
You
guys.
know?
Remember, it was Graham Maynard, right? Yeah, and then Frankie Edgar, like all
Yeah.
these guys are great wrestling in the tri-state area.
And then obviously they train at Henzo Gracie affiliates. Frankie down at Ricardo Almeida's, Chris Weidman from Longo and Sarah. So
Yeah.
the lineage.
the lineage, exactly.
Yeah.
You got plenty of top grapplers and MMA fighters to train with.
Yeah. Would you say, Sid and Rich? I think we've talked about this too, and I agree with Rich's opinion. But Sid, I want to get your take. I always thought wrestling transcends everything, right?
Yeah.
If you have a good wrestling base, you can do the other. Like you're already almost like an intermediate at other stuff. Would you agree?
You know what? I definitely agree. However, I definitely believe that jiu-jitsu is at the end of the day is king of
Jiu-jitsu.
I don't care. I mean, not that I don't
Great
care.
equalizer, man.
It's been proven. I think sometimes not if you don't have a good head on your shoulder, if you're a high level grappler,
Mm-hmm.
you have to humble yourself and say, all right, I gotta learn some wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ask me, I feel as if wrestling for the mental,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes straight to it, I think Ben Askren and Damian Maya,
Yeah.
you saw that fight. That was that answered every question.
Mhm.
You can't high level wrestling, high level jiu-jitsu. And beyond, I think Ben Askren level competition for wrestling was much higher.
Yeah,
than his.
big time.
So when you see Damian Maya when he did what he did,
yeah,
I think it should answer every question.
Yeah.
You know that you
I
have.
agree.
You got two ways to look at it. You've got a really high level jujitsu guy that learned to wrestle for the sport of submission grappling or BJJ,
Mhm.
and then you have a guy who wrestled that learned jujitsu to compete in MMA and jujitsu.
Yeah.
And you see that difference because when it gets the nit and gritty, they tend to go back to what they already know and was bred to, even though they're if they came from that wrestling base first, they tend to go back to that in the heat of the moment.
Mhm.
When you come from that jujitsu base and you could have learned to become a good wrestler and apply that correctly, but in the heat of the moment, you tend to go back to that,
Mhm.
which, I think both combined make you a much better grappler.
Yeah.
You can take the match anywhere you want or the fight anywhere you want anytime.
Yeah.
It does vary in the cage, and he'll tell you cage wrestling is different than mat wrestling
Very different.
because you have the cage, and that's a whole different thing in itself.
Yeah.
As amateurs, I made these guys wrestle in the cage every single night. We would get done class, and then they would go in the cage, and we worked from every bad position you could, because if you couldn't get comfortable in the cage, pinned up against the cage in the worst possible position, you got to learn to be comfortable in an uncomfortable position and situation. So learning to be comfortable in that, you got to drill it every single day. So we literally position train that from bottom to top and top to bottom.
You got to get used to too. The cage itself, people don't realize that fucker beats you up just as bad as everything else.
Yeah.
God, I remember when I fought in the cage, the marks on my back from being like going into it. You know what I mean? Like
They thought that was a hot night with the girlfriend, and shit.
It's like, all right, take it easy. God. So okay, let's go back a little bit though. I want to start a transition. So Rich, when Sidney first came here, do you remember like what were your thoughts when he first came into the gym? Like obviously like nice kid coming in, green, but what were you thinking? Like you could see the talent right away and mold it, or where were you at?
No, not at all. Completely the opposite. Not even close.
You're like, this is dope. God damn.
But I swear I
He
would
would come over. He'd be like, Coach Rich. And he was like this big. He would come like here. I was actually taller than Sid. And
but he was also he wasn't lean back then.
Now he was chubby.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to fight. He goes, oh, God, it's great.
That is so true.
I did. I said, go back on the mat and train. That's what I did. Because you get hit with that all the time.
Yeah.
I'm responsible for you.
Yeah.
Out there and get hurt. Keep training, and that's it. So pretty much every week he would ask me the same, very polite, very polite way. He would get me as I come in the door. And everyone's like, yo, just let him put his bag down, get situated. Because I'm just 10 people before I even hit the front door. Something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's me trying to get in the building. I always said it's got to be 10 times worse for Henzo. In fact, I know it is. So I always go, I know. You know what I mean? I get a little bit of that, and it's still, it's like I got class to teach. I got people waiting for me inside. So, but he would get me, and I would do the same thing. I put my arm around him. I said, it's great. But when you do, like, go out and train. Get out there.
Yeah. That's what we got a long way to go for that. Yeah.
I would probably say right around like 15.
Yeah.
His body started to change. And it's like, I felt like one day I walked in, and Jay Frawley actually is the one who said it to me. He goes, have you seen Sidney? Like, I think it was over like from when school got out, like June until September. Like, he changed overnight. Am I right?
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden, he looked a damn grown-ass man.
Yeah.
I was like,
well, I was training with you guys.
Yeah,
we did training.
But your body changed. Like, it was like that one summer. And all of a sudden, by the end of the summer, Jay's like, oh my God, he's such a handful. And he's, he's been training it a year or a little over a year. Yeah. So he goes, he's athletic. You got to take a look at him. Like, then I started paying a little bit more attention. And probably by year 2, we started getting you ready to do a fight, right?
Yeah. We were in high school when we were champions. We were junior, senior. Then we went pro when I graduated.
Yeah. So you were around 19. When you went pro.
Yeah.
But but back then he could fight at 16.
Yeah.
You had the
Yeah.
New
your parents
breed,
had to sign
yeah.
off on it.
Yeah, I remember that. I'll
New
never
breed,
forget that.
Yeah.
That was the only permission slip she had. Well, not permission slip,
Yeah.
but the only thing she had to sign.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That she read.
Yeah. She's
And
like,
we-
hold on. We're going. Yeah.
because he's going to be fighting grown men.
Yeah.
I said, look, if I didn't think he was ready, I would never.
Yeah.
And Nick Lambo down in New Jersey, Nick's deputy attorney down there, and Nick was always a cool guy, and I
Mhm.
really liked him. And he's like, normally I don't do this, Rich, but he's got mom's permission. We're gonna let it happen.
Mhm.
He goes, we're gonna monitor the fights. And I go,
Yeah.
look, I have no problem, Nick. I respect you. I respect your opinion.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we get him the right opponent because he is still young.
Yeah.
I think it's 18.
Yeah.
For
It has to
amateur.
be now.
I think it is.
Yeah.
And then Greg Serb in Pennsylvania is a little stricter too with stuff too.
Back
So-
then too, it was more the Wild Wild West back then. There wasn't it was regulated. It wasn't like USA boxing.
These
Wild
guys were fortunate
yeah.
because that's when the amateur program started to take root. Up
Yeah.
until then, there was no amateur program.
Yeah.
You literally went, if you wrestled in college, they automatically put you pro fighting.
No shit.
You were like considered like semi-pro.
Hmm.
If you were considered a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, that was considered a professional level.
Mhm.
You went pro. So you could have had you could have had pillow fighting as your background.
Yeah.
Or you're a purple belt in jiu-jitsu or you wrestled in college. And it could have been a D2 or D3 school.
Mm.
And you could have did a semester. You're pro, which
Yeah.
they're not going to sit there and break it down. Now, the whole idea of the amateur program was to build a feeder program, and you've seen a lot of guys come up from that feeder program.
You know.
Sid being one of them. Who was the other? Nick from Jersey. I can't think of his name offhand. But anyway,
Yeah.
there's so many guys fighting now. Jared Gordon.
Yeah.
He was from that program. Paul Felder was from that program.
Edgar too.
No,
No.
Frankie was before that.
There's a heap, but there's a heap.
Sean Brady
Yeah.
was from that program.
Sean Brady, yep.
Him and Sean Brady.
Yep.
I mean, they're the same age. They came up
Yep.
together.
Yep.
And look at Sean. I think
Yeah, he did
Sean's like,
UFC.
I think he's in the top 5 in the UFC
Yeah.
right now at 55.
Yeah.
55 or 70.
70. Yeah.
I remember when we talked about this. So there was one rule in amateurs in Jersey that this is the rule because at the time more pros had come out of the Jersey amateurs than any other.
Because
they
Jersey
didn't-
was the first one.
and also they didn't allow ground and pound to the head.
Yes.
Right. Because there's so many, like if you go in Georgia, someone gets hit with a loopy ass punch and they get floored and this person goes on top and that's it. But they didn't really learn anything.
No.
And it was a, whatever fight. Whereas even if you would catch a guy and drop him, you still got to get on top of him and do the damn thing.
Yeah, they
You know what I
wanted
mean?
you to start to learn how to strike on your feet. So, you couldn't elbow, you couldn't knee, but you had shin insteps on. You could leg kick, you could kick to the body, you could kick to the head.
Mhm.
No ground. Once it hit the mat, you could punch to the body, but no striking at all to the head on the ground. And that was part of the amateurs. It's even developed from there now. Now, after so many fights with a record over 500, you're allowed to do ground and pound, just no elbows,
Mhm.
but you could punch the head.
Mhm.
But the whole idea was it's supposed to allow you to learn to strike on your feet comfortably, learn to wrestle on your feet comfortably in the cage, and learn to grapple when it hit the mat correctly.
Mhm.
So you understood the different situations and positions. So it was a feeder program. And then I think after that, Jersey was definitely the first. And then Nick Lambo, developed those rules and that sanctioning body, the ABC
Yeah.
board for concussions, all that was him. And then Greg Serb here in Pennsylvania kind of took it and modified it a little bit more in PA and kind of put his stamp on it.
Yeah.
So
I would say though, so Sid, I want to get your take on this. We heard Rich's take on when you first came in, but what was your thoughts going into the gym originally, especially when you were younger, before you started like growing and developing? Like, what were your thoughts when you first came in to Renzo Gracie's itself?
Well, yeah, I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. I need to be a fighter.
Yeah. You're like, dream come true, man.
I'm
About
like,
to be
yeah.
on TV.
Yep. I'm like, all right, so how do I gotta go?
Yeah.
like who would I have to beat up first? Get in there.
This is the alpha
No.
in the room, right? Yeah.
I'm like,
full set of hair too.
Yeah, I had braids and everything. And I, man, let me tell you, when I never been like, with Never Back Down, that messed my life up. Great
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, actually, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
we never backed down. Remember that, bro? When they're fighting, like they fought at the party and shit, and the guy like does like a spinning kick and knocked. Oh my, yo, because that was like the first like MMA movie.
Yeah,
right? And they're flipping tires.
I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I may not be getting them now, but watch.
Yeah.
When the girls see me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Fight.
I'm
Oh
gonna do
man.
my push-ups montage.
And then I thought I had the body.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Rude awakening. Coach Rick had no problem letting me know how real life was.
No,
had
dude,
no problem.
That's one thing I think that everyone, and I think that's one of the best things about a gym like this is the ego gets checked at the door, right? You're not like that. You could be, muscle on top of muscle, come in here, Johnny Hardnuts, whatever, and you'll get like little baby J or something will twist you in the knots, or Dental Bill. You know what I mean?
100%. But my first reality check was the weight cut.
Oh,
that's a different subject.
Bro.
I hated that.
Everyone does. It's the worst thing. It's the worst.
You know what? You know what? Honestly, I got everything down packed.
Yeah.
I'm really doing it easy.
Just took a while.
Yeah, it took a while.
But also too, when we were cutting weight initially, right? Like say this is like 2009, 2010, like that era, the nutritional aspect of cutting weight, I really hadn't come in. I remember when Jordan did it for the first time, he's like, dude, I'm eating 5 times a day and I've never been leaner.
So
and
what
I was like, what
I did was,
we've been starving for years.
I had a friend that knew George Lockhart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the first.
Reached out to him. He was a military guy,
yeah.
And George was working with the military guy with guys that were having trouble in boot camp with weight, and he was doing stuff like that. And he had come out with a whole plan and a series, and he made it simple. I brought him up here before these guys turned pro, and he did a seminar. Remember that?
No, I remember that.
I thought you were taking notes and you were drawing.
When I got program.
Now you said something about Raisinets. How many of them? Like, if you have low sugar, like how many is it? Is it drinking a handful? Is that 10? Is that 5?
That's right here. The key.
No.
Oh, it is. But I said, Sid, you're taking notes. I said, let me see that. I look over, and he was drawing the whole thing. It's like,
just do
relax. I thought he was taking notes. I'm like, oh my god, he's getting it. He's like, oh, Jordan's got. He's doing it. He's got the notes.
Yeah. And then you see Jordan's notes. You're like, what the hell? Yeah, man,
it's funny.
But it's crazy because like I always view the fitness industry and fighting. I would say it's almost fashionable, but because it's forever progressing and forever growing. There's so many new things that come in and so many different things that happen. Do you remember a thing specifically, and it might be weight cutting, that changed the game for you when you first saw it? You're like, oh, wow, this is like the new next level thing for me. Do you like something in training or in weight cutting or anything like that? Do you have any experience like that?
For me, I wanted to say this. Honestly, it's come to it for me. For me, it comes with like a story. Like,
yeah, go ahead.
What changed the game for me was like when I was in a very, very bad position in a fight, also training. And I don't know if you were there for that, but I was in a really bad position, like a high level. I think it was a high level grappler.
Okay.
Can't really remember the guy's name.
American or out of country?
Out of country.
Russian guy?
Russian guy.
Oh, damn.
And it was my professional grappling.
Okay.
Last minute.
Dante was with you.
Yeah, he was. I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go in and try my best. And I'm just going to have fun.
Yeah.
That was one of the key. I'm going to have fun. And then once I realized everything I was doing was basically the fundamentals to beat this guy, it made me like realize like, oh snap. Everything that I didn't want to do before the class, the warm up, the stretching, the push up, the sit ups, the things that I didn't like, that I was kind of like
fighting back again.
Like, yeah, you know what I mean?
There's simple techniques.
Yeah, like little things that
simple things.
Like the little things like you kind of like, oh, I'm gonna go stay in the bathroom for it.
Yeah. I'm gonna go get a water.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait, or I don't need to do that, or whatever people might do or say. Those things. They were the second nature, saved everything, and it made me the dominant one.
Yeah, because he was like your national instinct.
Exactly, he pushed me. Boom, he sprawled. If I'm against the cage or wall, I just reacted out of instinct. I didn't even know what I was doing, and
You can do it, but you couldn't explain it.
Yeah, I'm like,
Hey,
what
you got to
happened?
think about it. It's too late.
Yeah,
You know, yeah.
So
You just
yeah,
react.
Yeah, and that is something that I believe that changed the game because the simple fact that I sucked it up.
Yeah.
So I can say I'm proud of myself. Like, that
Would you say you were at that moment you trusted yourself, right? Like you were like, I'm gonna trust myself. Just let my body react. I know the moves. Let my body react.
Funny you say that because again, that's why I said it came with a story. When I walked in there, I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna go in there and have fun and like you said, trust myself.
Yeah.
And then it just so happened that everything that I was doing was just a natural reaction.
Yeah.
From years, and I'm just like I'm tired. He's tired, and I'm just the one moving.
Yeah.
He's breathing. His hand, when he was fatiguing, his hands was on his knees.
Ooh.
My when I was fatiguing, I was going with the flow, moving with aggression.
Yeah.
And
that makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference, and that is why, like, the simple fact that the days I feel tired, or I want to go hang out with the girl, or I want to go party, and I say no, those are the days that made me better.
Yeah.
While my opponents are somewhere partying or having Christmas.
Yeah, whatever.
Having Christmas and
eating turkey.
I didn't
relax.
Yeah. Not at all.
When they came in, all the guys, they had from the time they came in, I made them all work. He would go in the bathroom, try and get a little break here and there, and I go,
"Sid, we could get out here.
What are you doing? You need help?"
We all know what everyone's doing when they do that. You know what I mean?
Like we were talking the other day, and he's like, like that push helped me. I said, he goes, I'm so glad you did that. And I go, look, I knew I could do that with you. There's other guys I could. I knew it would break them. I knew I could do it with you, and you would go, okay, boom. You would just get doing it because you knew I was right.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you can't just come in here and sit and go, yeah, put some work in. Like, I shouldn't have to be standing next to you to get the work in. You gotta want it. Yeah. I can't want it more than you want it.
Yeah.
Because that ain't gonna work.
Sure.
So you got to come in and it's gotta be something you put the work in, whether you want to or not. And in the end, it's going to pay dividends.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And I see a lot of people like I'm a big fan of them. And now since everybody's seen his name, I'm competing against his crew, like the Khabib and everything.
Yep.
They do like a variation of that. You know what I mean? They're like really catered to with their religion, with their with their environment, versus like it was just you yelling at me, beating it into me. When I was late, remember when I was late? It was like, all right, go on the treadmill, crank that bad boy up.
Yeah.
Well,
20 minutes and walked away.
So let's tell the story.
Go ahead.
So Sid struggled with weight.
That's an everybody thing, though.
Yes.
Right.
And he
but he
got a part-time job at Burger King. And I said, I don't know how good this is going to be. It's like putting a weasel in a chicken coop.
Yeah.
Before you know it, he's
you gonna fry here.
And it would always be like this extra 10, 15 pounds hanging on. So one day he gets done wrestling and he was running down here. I actually passed him and it was raining and I was going to pick his ass up. But I'm like, this little shit, I guarantee he's over.
And I saw him.
Oh, no, he did. I'm like, no, he's overweight. I know he is. So it's like 5 miles.
Yeah. And it's torrential down.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, oh, man, I hope he doesn't get freaking ran over. But I just knew at that point I was so aggravated. I'm like, okay. So I come in here, boom. He comes down, probably about 20 minutes later. So comes in the door soaking wet. It's like, oh, coach, how you doing? It's like, didn't you see me? I was waving. I go, no, I had no idea. He's like, you sure? And I'm like, nope, didn't see you. I knew it was lying. So I go, Sid, you're fighting at the end of the week. How's your weight? Yeah, no, it's pretty good. Yeah. I said, okay. And when he's back there changing, he gets dried off. I said, well, here, let's get on the scale and see what your weight is. Or you can get on the treadmill and get a run in. Coach, I ran here. It was like 5 miles. I go, like I said, we can get on the scale. You just ran, so you should be lighter. I said, or we can just get on the treadmill. Get another 2 miles in before we train.
Yeah.
Something's going to get on the treadmill.
I did not have to do
I gave him a choice.
Yeah. Hey, the choice is on. Hey, man.
The scale. It doesn't matter what scale. We have a professional $2,500 scale there.
Yeah.
This is wrong. It's got
No, how many times?
Hey, sometimes.
How many
Sometimes
times
it's
though
all
did
right.
you take the 20-pound weight and you put it on there
A
like?
bunch of times. Oh, yeah. Oh, it was on the carpet. Wait, had too much give
I
on
said,
it.
I don't give a shit if it's a half pound or a pound. It's 6 pounds. That is not the scale. It's a brand new scale. I got a digital one. And the digital one be like a half pound different than the other one. I'm like, see what I mean? And he's back here exchanging kettlebells. And weights. Like, fucking say, get out of the fucking train.
I was friends with that treadmill. I even had a favorite. I
bro.
already knew the system.
I told him, I said,
Yeah.
if you're going to be really good and successful, or I'm going to fucking die of a stroke. Trying to get you there.
I used to skip out on lunch and
Oh,
everything.
dude, it's the work, dude. Cutting weight back in the day.
Remember when Nico and Cruz ratted you out?
No, no.
Remember the 3 kids, Nico, Cruz, and Rocco. He came
Oh, I
from work.
remember
It was
those
a Saturday, and he was
Yeah.
in the bathroom. Remember when they were little? They're in their
my
20s
bag.
now.
Yeah.
So they went in his bag, and he had
Yeah.
oatmeal cookies in there, right?
Yeah.
You had a
Some
tray of
good
them, and then they were from Burger King, and then he had a bunch of burgers. And they come out, and they're like,
Yeah.
Coach Rich, Sidney has food in there that he probably shouldn't have. I go, where? And they said, oh, in his bag. I said, what made you do that? Well, we seen a wrapper sticking out, so we just peeked in there.
They probably.
And I was like,
smell it.
oh, really? So I went back in the locker room.
Oh,
I
my
found his bag. I opened it up. The thing's packed. I mean,
because you get it for free.
Yeah. I'm like, take a couple burgers.
a couple.
Yeah.
He was on vacation for a week. I said, come on, boys, grab his other bag. Let's get out here. So I took it, put it on the edge of the boxing ring. The kids were all getting done training. He said, what are you going to do, coach? I said, we're going to hand it out to the kids since they did good today. You don't need the oatmeal cookies. You don't need the burgers.
Yeah.
We got enough here for the freaking 40 kids that are here. It fed every one of them. So we did 2 lines and we lined them up.
Yeah.
Sid was in one line, I was in the other. And we gave each one a cookie, each one. So they come up, and one of them ended up in Sid's line. And I heard Sid go, God bless you, little snitch. I said, Sidney, snitches get stitches.
One time
They did you a favor.
Hey, one time, like I was young knowing this time.
Right.
So one time, we were in a weight cutting stage when the whole team was getting together to fight, you know, for the amateur fight.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened, but I got to the gym early. I'm like, you know what? Let me go to Walmart, and Walmart had sell some Gatorade.
Or dollar store,
some
you go
stuff.
there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I brought some Gatorade, and he was mad.
Was he
I'm like,
mad
I thought it was
that-
healthy. I'm
yeah.
like, hey, what's up?
He was like,
the fucking sorry. He's like, bro, what are you?
Yeah.
Bro, what are you doing? I never felt the rage. I'm like, I thought he would have been proud of me. I'm like, this is Gatorade. I could have brought soda.
Yeah.
Was that the day you ran out here? Chasing you out the door? I literally,
He was gonna kill me. We gotta lose weight. And he brought fucking Gatorade.
I threw the scale. He was running towards the door. I threw the scale and went into pieces here. He ran out the door. I ran out after him.
I did.
Get back here, you. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow.
I thought it was healthy.
Oh, bro.
You feel me?
Tell him what you did. You called Coach Harry.
Yeah.
Oh, Harry Yorgi.
So Harry, Yorgi's on his way in.
I love Harry, man. Shout out.
You might want not come in. Coach Rich is losing his shit today. He goes, I'll be honest with you. I think we all need the intervention. I think
You said this?
He goes, he's telling Harry, he goes, I think he needs anger management. Harry's like, that bad? He's like, yeah. So Harry gets here and he's like, all right, Rich. I'm like, yeah, why? He goes, I talked to Sid. He said, we need intervention. You need anger management. I was like, that little motherfucker, I'm gonna kill him. I swear to God, I'm gonna kill him.
Bro, I had so many. I got like Gatorade, all the healthy things.
Yeah. You're like, dude, I'm sticking on the weight.
I'm like, yo, man, y'all gonna be because it was on sale.
Yeah.
Oh my man,
I'm
like, yo, he's gonna be happy when he
Yeah,
sees
he's
this
like,
Gatorade.
I'm responsible. I'm getting the right
He's like, he's getting it. He's getting it. I never saw that
Oh,
side. He was like,
man.
oh my God, we gotta make weight.
You flipped the switch, man. Oh, my God.
Well, it's first thing in the morning too. It's like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, was it one of those Saturday trainings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still finishing up one cup of coffee. I was like, what the?
Bro, man, I miss Harry. Shout out.
Harry's
I
the
can't
man.
wait to get him on here, man. I fucking
Oh, we got some memories too.
Oh man, do we have some time
Good
for that?
stuff.
Yeah. So okay, let's keep it moving then. So you're doing your amateur career, everything's going well there. What would you say in your amateur career experience? Did you have a moment that stands out or something that like pops out as like, you know what, I felt like in this fight or at this time, like I was getting it, you know?
You know what? I think, well, that time, like when I graduated, I walked,
Mm-hmm.
I went to prom.
Yep.
And
What was his name? Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
I walked with
Yep.
the prom
Yep.
and I fought. And that's when I think I turned pro.
Yeah.
All in that
At
scene.
the armory, right? Was that
Now
the
it
one? Okay.
was
I think it was something like nicer.
yeah, no, it was yeah.
It was like a,
I can't remember the exact, but yeah,
Mhm.
it was around that
I
time.
got-
It was
I got-
within a short duration of each other from your amateur fight to your pro fight.
Yeah. You can see my prom face. I'm all sucked out.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. You're like,
My
"Man."
graduation, it was awesome.
He would,
Like-
yeah, that's when
Yeah.
you came
Oh, you're
in with a
picture
group
ready.
of boys, your
Yes.
buddies that week.
Yep.
You know, he's getting ready. That was going to be his last Ami fight. So he comes in with a group of cars. It looked like a clown car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, sure.
I thought it
It's like a Honda Civic and like 10 of them getting out.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know. Well, I'm like, yeah, we
Buddy,
got my whole. They're
Yeah.
coming in and you know, I'm like, who the hell are these freaking jokers? You know, and Sid, and I just went to each one of them. I'm like, okay, prom's over. Yeah, he's got a fight coming up. I don't know what you guys are doing, but yeah, you guys ain't hanging out while he's training. So
I love it.
there's all 10 of them. And I told him,
You
I
thought
said,
it was turning into Floyd Mayweather time.
Yeah.
I said, who brought you? He's like, oh, Pat and all the guys. Okay. You're going to tell Patricia and the girls they got to go. Load them up and send them home. They're
Yeah.
all nice,
Yeah.
but my girls got to go.
Go ahead, be
It's like,
it was worth
Pat, I said, it's Patricia.
We freaking had to. They had to. But you know what? That again made me kind of like, that mental
Yeah.
strength because I can go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I'll like even people, a lot of people today. I love it when I get my blood work. I love it. It makes me feel better.
Yeah.
It brings up memories
Mhm.
because a lot of people thought they make some type of excuse in their head,
Mhm.
like, oh, he's on steroids. some type of
No,
PED.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah. At first, I was offended. I'm like, how I can't believe it. But now, I kind of,
You're like,
feel a little
well,
good.
it's funny you mentioned that. So
very good. At it.
in pro football, right? They'll know like a sign of a good game is when you get a PED test afterwards,
Yeah.
right? So like
Yeah.
that is a sign of like you're a great
Yeah.
athlete because they're like, "Fuck,
Yeah.
test them. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just shows like you're.
they're feeling.
Oh.
You know, some guys struggle with that though,
Mhm.
because you get when they pull you because
Mhm.
they just randomly do it with people, and it could
Yeah.
be after a fight
Yeah.
or before.
Mhm.
But you have one of the guys from the athletic commission usually has the armband on, and he's in the bathroom with you.
Mhm.
I remember
They're
having it done,
watching.
and I remember going to the guy, "Hey, can you get
They're
me closer?" And he's
Yeah.
like, I have to stay here because we have people that use other devices, and
Yeah.
That's
Could you imagine if that was your job
Um,
staring at dicks?
you-
for
you-
a living, you know?
you can hold it for me if you want.
Yeah.
Nothing-
Yeah.
nothing with it.
I need 2 hands.
I mean, they're in your space. I'm like,
Yeah. They don't.
and that's something some people are like, I've heard guys go, I can't, you're like crowding me.
they do that. They watch you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they do it for a reason. They want to make sure that's a real wiener.
Yeah.
People use what is it called?
The fake.
No,
picture.
what's it called?
They do that.
The Don or something.
I know. What you're talking. It's like a fake piss or
Whizzer or
something.
something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Something
yeah.
along those lines.
They
I
put
didn't even know
fake
that
on it.
existed.
Yeah.
But here, and you remember the guy, we had a guy that trained with us that worked at a place that made these rubber dolls and these rubber toys and wizards and all that. Remember the guy?
Yeah,
He came up, he fought for New Breed,
I know exactly.
and they sent him up here to train with us. Wackiest guy I ever met.
Mhm.
But he used to make these love dolls and all these
Yeah.
rubber things, and I was
Yeah.
like, what the frick?
Yeah.
He was a strange dude.
Yeah.
But he made the he's like, oh yeah, people get them. It looks so real.
Yeah.
And he brought one in and showed it one time. The whole strap-on kit.
Yeah. We'll
He
do
goes,
it.
people do it,
Yeah.
and then they use that, and it looks so real.
That the people are like.
Even if you touched it, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
So
I mean,
it's
the lengths you go to though for that, it's like yeah,
why?
right.
You know what I mean?
They-
They're
that-
walking
that-
around
that-
with a
that-
fake
Fake.
thing on.
Yeah. You got a fake schwanz, and it's like,
That's what you do.
yeah.
I think to keep it warm or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
temperature.
people just talk
Because
about
you could tell, they can tell by the temperature.
Mhm.
Yeah.
it. It's weird. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
But like I'll say though, when they see that your blood test comes back negative for
Yeah.
performance enhancing drugs, what a deflation! Like you probably can just see them.
The
melt.
best part,
Oh,
well, the best part is a lot of people don't know. Like, remember when I was anemic, but we didn't know until it was time that obviously we got blood work and everything.
shit.
Long story short, one time I actually got my blood work done,
mhm.
and they're like, "All right, well, you're definitely not on any PEDs. However, we got to get your iron level up." And as they opened up, they're like, "Oh, sweetie, you got more stuff you got to work on." And I'm like, "Oh, snap, that's good." And it was a bunch of people like lining up, and they're like, "Oh, is Sidney on anything?" Because it made, like I said, it made me feel good.
Yeah, you knew.
And yeah, I mean, I didn't even. It wasn't even a.
Yeah, it wasn't
like,
even a
bro,
question.
Like
yeah.
I felt like taking too much freaking creatine was even bad.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that was something new that I would just I just discovered with creatine for your brain.
Yeah.
But that's another thing too, that nutrition is a huge part,
mhm.
and a lot of the old school method or sometimes it's coming back. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, like keeping it simple, like probably like eating organic stuff.
Mhm,
Clean eating.
Yeah, clean eating.
Yeah.
Not staying away from processed food.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I see what
Give
you're
me something else like multivitamins every day.
Yeah, yeah.
People don't speak
Greens
about
and all that. Yeah, yeah.
There's no quick fix.
Yeah.
It's clean eating, foods that are good for you that you can benefit from, not overeating,
Yeah.
proportion, like all those benefits, and then training consistently.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Yeah.
Well, that helps with your rehabilitation as well, right? When you're eating clean, your rehabilitation's better, would you say?
Yeah. And then
All the above, inflammation, all that. You
And
know?
one of my favorites, stretching afterwards. I'm trying to get back into that.
Bro.
That's the big.
That's the thing though. Like when you were younger, you're like, oh fuck stretching.
Yeah.
Everybody does it.
Now it's like, God, if I don't stretch, I'm like dead. Like
Like,
you're,
Uncle Greg,
no,
he never liked stretching an arm up. It was 2 arm circles. You ready, Rich? I
yeah.
got give me like 5 minutes. everybody.
Like, it's hammy, still
Yeah.
tight.
We do the little.
Yeah.
And then he'll.
He's had some injuries too.
Yeah,
And now,
yeah.
now he's obviously, but we talked about it. But I mean, you got to remember, we've been training together for 30 years.
Yeah.
I go, there's certain things that he's never changed in 30 years, and that being one of them.
Man.
So, did we ever see ourselves 30 years later, both training and coaching?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He is the man.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Great guy.
Can't wait to
Cannot
get
tell
him
me
on.
anything.
He's the man.
Asset.
Man.
You know?
He's another one too, and we've talked about this before, Rich, where it's like, I wouldn't say Greg was born a victim, but he's not like an imposing guy.
No.
He's like just a mild-mannered, super nice guy, laid back, but he's a fucking killer. He's a killer.
He was he was a special ed teacher.
Yeah.
I believe he still works with him. He's still a teacher.
Yeah.
Runs his union.
Mhm.
But even tempered, kind of like
Mellow.
mellow. He never really he was a guy though, like a kid could be kind of going the wrong way or getting a little sarcastic, whatever. He would bring him in a nice way. But if it was an adult, he's like, they know better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He would go, but I always ask him about the time he was coming down the train one day and a guy had cut him off in a school zone and flew past him and gave him the bird.
In a school zone.
In a school zone. Greg caught him at a light, got out, and here the guy was going to a funeral. Greg, the guy got mouthy with him. Freaking Greg yanked him out by his tie, put him on the ground, smacked him a little bit. And the guy's like,
funeral.
oh, sorry, I'm way to the funeral. He's like, oh, dude, I didn't know. But, you know what I mean?
But still.
He passes him in a school zone
Yeah,
flying
that's
and then flips him the bird.
yeah.
Greg lost his shit
Yeah.
at that point.
Especially in
You
a
never
school
expected
zone.
from him.
No.
Yeah.
You see that.
Last person.
No, the story, and he's like so calm. He's like, yeah, he goes, he tried pulling some bullshit or something. Like I grabbed him by the freaking neck, threw him on the ground, I mounted him, smacked him a couple times. He started crying.
Yeah.
I was like,
I love the guy.
I love it. Great guy.
I competed in high school and stuff. So
Yeah.
long story short, like I always kept looking. I'm like, yo, he's a teacher. Like, if he ever told me something like,
Yeah. You'd be like,
What,
oh, shit.
listen?
Yeah.
like, will I listen? Because nobody at that high school could ever
No.
touch me.
No.
But then you see somebody like him.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Oh,
you never know it, right?
Can you imagine doing that in front of other people?
Could you imagine some kid gets mouthy in his class and tries to do some shit? Oh my
You
god.
will pick probably the biggest guy.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
that like him?
No.
No way. So
Yeah.
humbling.
Yeah.
And the guy that when he took him down, he mounted him. The guy was still mouthing. He smacked him a couple of times in the face and told him to behave himself. Yeah,
Like, look,
the guy
your behavior is unacceptable.
That's what he's reprimanding him as he's smacking him. I think the guy started crying, get off, and I think the guy actually rolled to his stomach, and then Greg choked him.
Yeah.
But then the guy's crying. I'm sorry, I'm just having a bad day. Like he's apologized. Greg's dusting him off, fixing it. He's like, dude, I'm sorry, but you got to behave. And he straightened his tie and then walked him back into his. Dude,
that's crazy.
He dusted him off because I didn't know.
God, imagine if there was camera phones then. He'd be
Oh my God, yeah.
forget it.
What about freaking yeah, it had to be in camera time.
No, they didn't have them there. No, not when that happened. No.
Okay. Oh wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Cell phones were just.
All right, so I want to keep it moving. So, like we said, you went through amateurs and everything like that. Now you're in the pros. Do you remember, like, you're getting ready for your first pro fight? I remember it. Remember when we were training in here and everything like that. You had, like, also, you're young. You're what, 18 at this time, getting ready for your first pro fight?
Yeah,
really young, fresh in the game. You have your entourage, like you're seeing like the shit on TV. You got people knocking on your door. Also, too, like if you're fighting MMA and like doing really well in high school, you know what I mean? Like that comes with like some notoriety and things like that. So you're at your first pro fight. Like, what was it like preparing for your first pro fight? Where were you at mentally? And like, what was the training like?
Well, again, when we were amateur, it was always like the pro.
Trained just like the pros.
Like
yeah.
That. So we didn't the same exact thing, if not even lighter, because nutrition came and factored. So it was like, that is why, again, I was happy that I always attended. Nothing should change, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that much of a change at all.
Nothing at all.
The training all stayed the same. Yeah.
Every single thing changed, stayed the same.
He could just be more active in the fight in positions where normally he wouldn't be.
You wouldn't, like, because you weren't allowed to ground and pound to the head.
Yeah.
Now you can incorporate that.
Now you can, all right, well, it was easier because now, instead of when it went to the ground, it wasn't wrestling, it was jiu-jitsu when it went to the ground. Getting him to the ground was wrestling. You know what I mean? We don't really talk about that transition. So now when we're at the ground, instead of just doing jiu-jitsu, I can,
elbow.
Now you can, you're throwing and throwing,
Exactly.
Plus, dude, don't sell yourself short. You got good striking too. You know what I mean? Like you can throw some hands. So yeah, of course, man. So you're in there, you're training, right? What was it? You're 18, right? Like, I mean, into this world, right? Do you remember? I mean, I don't know. Was there any mistakes that you made as a young kid that, looking back now, you would change?
I made so many mistakes. The list goes on. I don't even have time for it.
Yeah.
But the biggest one was obviously just thinking like you gotta. There's something else out there you gotta focus on. Something else you gotta learn. At the end of the day, like I'm a God-fearing guy. You know what I mean?
Sure.
We all give me everything. He can give you everything you need. Yeah. And then. I think Instagram, social media. You feel what I'm saying?
That was something too that was just getting massive then.
Yes.
Right. Like social media had been around, but it wasn't like
you're
this.
Right.
This
around
was now like now is an explosion.
I agree with you, and I agree with you. So I believe that was definitely that was probably the most important one because I think I had everything. You know what I mean? And you just got to focus and just get better over and over and over and over to the point it actually became second nature. I was on the verge of making everything second nature, even though it looked like it, even though it was appeared to be second nature, but it wasn't really second nature. Now it is second nature. You know what I mean?
It's been drilled into you.
Yeah. So now it's like mentally, like when I think about I lost like 5 times. And I take that on the chin because I never lost a fight. I always get caught. Yeah. Yeah. So now when I look after my last fight, when I got whatever that was, it wasn't even a caught. I kind of like just chucked it off because I'm like, all right, the guy is afraid of me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because if he thinks that's gonna work again, he's getting I'm might catch a case.
Yeah.
So I definitely can't wait to walk back in there and then
that's one thing I will say, Sidney, as long as I've known you from when you first started coming in, and Rich has told me this too, and he's attested to this as well, is that your growth from then to now, you're a different person, really.
That's dope.
You know what I
Rich
mean?
said
Like,
that.
you,
He loves me.
yeah, of course,
Loves
dude, he loves the hell out of you, man. And I remember, like, we were talking one time. He's like, "This kid, I am so proud of this damn kid." Yeah, yeah. You know, he's so proud of you of like just the man you've become as far as like this kid who was like, you know, like really you were on your own. And I'm not, I'm not trying to air your shit, but you were on your own at times and you were doing it yourself and you really had to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and
You're
take
not gonna make me cry, man.
No,
I'm
it's
not a bitch. I give you the tools, not a bitch.
But you
the
did
tools
this,
to do
man.
it on your own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got the foundation.
Thank you.
You can go anywhere in this world and you can make it happen. Because
I'm a
you
Latta.
You got a
Black Latta.
And I said I was tough on you because I knew I could be,
Yep.
and you would benefit from it. So,
And now when I came in here and he had his little fight team, and I watched like one of them said, wait, come on, man. I don't know exactly. I don't want to forget the kid name, but it was, and I think I spoke up, but one of them was like, you were training one of them too, and you were actually harder. One of them was like, "Ah, man, I'm just not feeling it today. I'm gonna stop." Lauren,
bro.
I don't know if Mike, whatever, but I'm not gonna say his name.
Right, don't
you know who I'm talking about.
I know
But
exactly.
he was like, I think I'm just gonna call it today. I looked at Coach Rich and was like, all right, I'll see you, brother. He walked.
that pass ain't for everybody.
I'm looking. Walk away. As he packing his bag, I wanted to take his bag and you got to train. What are you doing?
Like, whoa. These passes don't exist here.
Not at all.
Ryan Durstein said it the best. He goes, it was a Saturday. We're all training. We had to do conditioning ahead of time. It's running the steps, the whole gauntlet, everything.
Oh,
He goes,
my God.
I was so sore because we trained till like 11 o'clock on Friday night. He goes,
Oh,
I'm
my
coming in.
God.
It's Saturday morning. It's 9, 10 o'clock. Stiff. I come walking in. He goes, I just wanted to cry. He goes, and I look around and everyone's else ready to train. He goes, I would have felt like such a wimp, but I was just ready to bawl my eyes out.
You've told
That
me
is
this
fact.
too, and Rich has definitely told you this. The days you don't want to train are the best days to train because that's when you level up.
Exactly.
That's when you get next level, and that mentally you're able to take on anything.
What about I love it is you don't feel like training. You train, then you feel like it. I'm like, damn, because what's up in the gangster at these worst moments, man? I don't want to hear this.
Yeah, well, I do.
I want to hear you guys go home,
Well,
man.
you know what? You know what's a saying that I heard the other day that made me think of you. The difference between an amateur and a professional is a professional trains until they get it right, and a pro trains until they can't get it wrong. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the level you're at.
Yeah.
Like how fucking crazy is that?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, dude, when we were rolling earlier, I was like, this guy's fucking spinning circles around everybody. No, come on. Don't you can hey man. Hey, of course, man.
Now I'm gonna be a monster.
You dude, you are hey,
Just like nutrition, like how he brought that and eventually brought that up to his, his competitive level. He brought his nutrition and taking care of his body. Always said you can't out train a bad diet.
Dude, that is the truth.
You're going to get older.
Wow.
You're not going to be able to put the same work in.
Wow.
And you're not going to be able to out train a bad diet.
That is
You're right.
Like,
You're absolutely right.
All those things, the faster you learn it and understand that, the easier the process is going to be.
Yeah.
But a good cheeseburger would make you
Go.
appreciate that good diet.
God dang.
Once in a while.
Right.
Once in a while.
Everything's good in moderation.
Exactly.
Right. Like
Once in a while.
When you earn it, right?
Yeah.
When you earn that
Exactly.
after a fight, you want to go out, get a cheesesteak or
I'm Matt. Go ahead, Matt.
right? You know what
Coach
I'm saying?
Matt, right.
Dude, I remember we went out after we had fought in Jersey and we come back and I remember I'd met up with a friend and I was like, I'm so fucking hungry. I was getting like cheesesteaks and mozzarella sticks and Rich and Karen walked in and they were like, you can do it now. But, I was like, that's like,
I remember taking him to a fight and we drove and he was cutting weight. And he's just like, everything looked good to him.
Yeah.
We passed a plate and it said fried chicken and waffles.
Oh, bro.
And he's like, Coach, you think after like weigh-ins and stuff, we can come back here to that place? I've seen it. He's like, I had fried chicken and waffles. Remember that? I said, Sid, you didn't read the sign all the way. He's like, what do you mean? I said, it said sometimes at the bottom. No. I said, yeah, dude,
He protected me so much. One time we were fighting We were fighting somewhere in PA. I forget what it was.
I wanted to go get it myself.
Fuck yeah, man. Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
It was when I actually knocked the guy out.
It was
Okay.
in York.
York?
PA.
In
It
York.
was in York.
Okay.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
That
about?
was a weird time. Yeah, I remember.
It was like they didn't really like me there,
No.
and I didn't really know.
Yeah.
But Coach Rich was like he was being really protective, being
You were in
cool. Like,
Pennsylvania at that time.
Yeah.
cool. I felt like a superstar.
Yeah.
Until we got in the car, and he was like, "All right, bro, we got hurt. We won." I'm like, "I'm gonna go and celebrate."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No,
We're-
we're back in the car
Celebrate.
now."
Yeah.
The car. In the car.
Outside in this place, it was kind of like a run.
I love this guy.
Oh,
But
my
outside,
God, dude.
we pull up, pickup trucks, Confederate flags, guys with their hands wrapped,
Yeah.
smoking a cigarette and drinking a beer. I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
Drinking a Budweiser, smoking a cowboy
Oh
killer.
my
Yeah.
God. Yeah, this isn't.
This ain't our scene.
I don't really feel comfortable here.
No. And they all got guns.
Bro.
They all got
I
guns.
said, see,
Okay.
Yeah. You were like, man, I'm the star of the show.
see,
Look at
he
me.
goes and whoops up on the hometown hero.
Oh,
On
man.
top of that, me and Harry were cornered. On top of that, he would listen almost to a fault.
Yeah.
He's got this kid. He's got him pinned, this and that. And he was over in the other corner. I mean, Harry, like, the kid's trying to get, like,
Oh my
come up.
goodness.
He's like in a half guard. He's trying to come up and grab Sid. Sid face palms.
Oh my god.
I can hear you. We're like, get him over. He's like, oh, okay. He grabs him, picks him up, walks him across, places him on the corner. He's like, and the kid's still trying to scramble. up
He's
and
fighting
grab him.
his
dog.
He pumps him in the face and holds him out. He goes, I can't hear you. And the ref's like, pay attention to what you're doing. I said, Sid, just listen. You don't need to look at me.
Yeah.
And people were freaking going nuts.
Oh.
The kid felt
Oh my
he's just
god.
taking his head. He's
Yo.
holding them down.
It was he's like I'm like, oh, we don't go out, I'm gonna get that, I'm gonna get that, I'm gonna get that, I'm gonna say hi to people. He goes, get in the car, we going.
You embarrassed the whole
Stuff
boy.
in his bag, he's like, hurry up,
It was beyond embarrassing.
embarrassing.
I would whoop his ass, but like
Yeah.
I said, the kid's like a little kid trying to climb up on him. He just grabbed him by the
Right.
face
Oh my
and hold him. He's like, "What? What'd you say?
Oh.
thinking about that now, I'm like, dang, I
remember that?
appreciate you. I remember
How
that.
you doing?
And then we think about it now.
Right.
You know, then I'm like, man, I
We
want
was
to
getting out of the ring. We grabbed his shit, grabbed him. Boom. He didn't move any faster. I was throwing him in my shoulder.
Damn, I can't believe you got back in the truck with the wraps on.
I wasn't hanging out because it was starting to get crazy.
That was funny.
Man, I remember Rich when we were going down to me and Rich cornered for Harry when he fought at it was like
Not-
Greensburg, Salem or something like that.
It
Right.
was,
It was like one of those colleges. that
Yes.
sold out this like it was like in like probably like a
but they do a lot of events. I'm trying to
it's
think
like
of
a
it. now.
10 grand arena. They sold 10,000 people arena.
Yeah, no, it was
Riddick
beautiful.
Bowe was there, like all these
Oh,
people. Yeah. And
Wasn't it
you
really-
cornered for Mike
Yeah.
Stewart that night too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He was fighting for some world title too.
Yeah,
I
and he
think,
won.
like North America. Yeah,
Yeah.
I ended up I cornered him. I wrapped his hands for him.
He was,
He was another guy from the Contender Series.
yeah.
he was a wound up little dude, wasn't he?
He
From Delaware.
wouldn't sit still. You were like, I gotta wrap your fucking hands, man. You gotta stay still.
Yeah,
And he
like,
kept getting up while Rich was wrapping his hands.
I've never seen somebody so wound up.
Oh,
I was like, look here, you little man. You got to sit down, behave yourself. Let me get your hands taken care of.
that was one guy.
I mean,
I'll tell you, man. So the reason I bring that up is that one was almost like a scared straight moment for me. Because so Harry had called us on the way down and he was like, yo, Mike Stewart's here. And he was asking if Rich, can you talk with him and maybe corner for him? So I was like, Rich was like, yeah, we'll do that. So we get to the hotel and Mike Stewart, he's like, he's a little guy, like I guess what he was like, what, $150 or something,
Might be lighter than
you
that,
know,
yeah.
and he has like kind of like a big head, like little body.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there, hood on, just sitting there like this, like in the lobby, right? And we walk in and he's like, Rich, like calls him over right away. We have like all our bags and shit. We go over, we sit with him. He's like, Rich, this is what I'm doing. This fight night, can you please corner for me? And Rich is like, yeah, of course, man. And wrap and cut. He was
Yep.
doing the wrap and cut for him. So then we do this and like we've already talked to him for like an hour.
Yeah.
Right. And we're joking and he's like knowing all our names and he's like Matt and Rich and Harry and like we're all joking, talking, right? And we're like, all right, Mike, we'll see you tonight. Gets up, leave. We go to Harry's hotel room and I'm like, Rich, I'm gonna run to the gas station and get some shit, you know, like water and whatever. I walk there and I'm in there and I see Mike and I'm like, oh, Mike, what's up, man? And like legit just got done talking to him 5 minutes ago. The dude was fucking blank.
Yeah.
Right. And in my mind, I'm like, God damn, like thinking like, because I had noticed some shit of like my memory and like feeling stupid from just like punch drunk shit, you know what I mean? So I saw that, and to me, like that was like a scared straight moment for me. And there's another guy on this card. He was like the Irish Lightning was his name. Motherfucker couldn't even walk.
Yeah,
his legs were so gone from being punch drunk, and like you see that kind of hit, and I'm like, God damn, you know, like and like it plays a toll on you, you know. So it does get scary, and I'm not trying to bring this up to be derogatory, but has those plots or anything like that ever crossed your mind? I know it's different with it's different with boxing because of the repetitive jabs to the head. It's you know, studies were done, more brain damage there, right? But it ain't no piece of cake in MMA either. So has those thoughts ever crossed your mind?
Oh yeah, it does a lot, you know. And I came to the theory that just like I feel like if you're not made for this, you got to be honest with yourself.
True.
You know, like everybody probably like got into it, you know, because it's accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
So I feel like if your body because we're genetically
I could not agree more.
You're just not able to do it. You just gotta be honest with yourself and say, hey, I admire it. Maybe I can coach. Maybe I can do amateur. Maybe I can try it out. But if you are lucky enough or you get to a point where you're doing it professionally, there's a lot of people like Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield. Everybody have their little downfall, but they're perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine for myself.
You're still young enough at 30. It's probably something at 35.
Yeah, I thought you were younger. God, look, you just black don't crack, right?
So I always look at it this way, and I've given this advice to other people. Like nobody's gonna remember your last fight, won, lost. You go a year down the road, they're gonna. I mean, how many former champions in different weight classes can everybody name? UFC or Bellator?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
absolutely right. Well,
sometimes it's the adrenaline dump. It's like jumping out of a plane. People live for that. They live in the moment.
Yeah.
That moment's there. Sometimes it's hard to let go. And people around them keep encouraging when they should be going, hey, you know, you have the rest of your life to live. You still got to be able to converse with people and know what's going on. Why, you know, there's a time to let it go. And sometimes it's hard, you know, to like, if you've seen somebody and they end up with 5 losses in a row and they're all devastating, you're like, it might be time. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're not going up. It's probably, you know what I mean? Like if they were bad losses and stuff like that, or injuries, bad injuries where it's changed you.
Yeah.
Achilles injuries, they're number one for change you. Everyone thinks like a knee or something like that. But you can see
that. Yeah.
I remember when Tito Ortiz had his neck done. And for me having neck surgery, I was like, he's never going to come back and be the same.
No.
Like he'll still be compatible, but it does take something out of
you. He'll never be at that level.
And look, it took him 2 years and back, and then he had lower back.
Yeah.
Same thing. I was like, but you could tell he was a little stiff, wasn't as fluent, age, that injury, all those things build miles. You know, you get your fan base going, yeah, but they're not always the one they're going to be with you after the dust settled either. You know, they got to be realistic with people and go, there's more to life. Yeah. And there's other parts of this that you can enjoy and still contribute.
Yeah. Yeah. Life goes on after fighting.
Like, you know what I mean? It is, but you can see where it's hard. Yeah. You know, it's hard to let go.
I got a goal. I got to accomplish it. Yeah. And then I'll entertain.
Right. You plan for an exit.
Yeah.
Right. You plan for an exit.
Everyone, there's an.
I told him, live like a poor man. You don't need to have fancy cars and all this stuff. You need a car A to B, easy maintenance, right? I don't need to be paying $1,000 to get a tire put on. All right. You need a nice car. You can afford a nice car. Get yourself a nice car, a nice,
dependable,
affordable place. Right? Boom, you and the dog or whatever, and the girlfriend, and live simple and be hungry.
Yeah.
Because once you start getting comfortable, you know what I mean? And that's why you don't see no rich kid fighting.
Yeah.
Nowadays, well, it's exactly like what I said in the beginning. Exactly. You need to have great when you have where you already have it all. Like if you have people that care about you, you know, they're not going to have you. All right, go spar.
Right.
Then go spar that guy.
Right.
Thursday, every Thursday, you're sparring.
Yeah.
And you got to spar. Next time you take a couple weeks up, then you come back sparring. versus having somebody be, all right, well, you're gonna take a rest. Well, maybe you're not gonna spar. You're gonna do a draw drill. Maybe you're gonna do hard pace drilling. Maybe we're gonna do some of this, or maybe you're gonna do that. That is people that care about you. I mean, nowadays you see the span of fighters are like the average champions are over 35 now.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Usman left.
Right.
Now he's getting trained with
Work harder, not smarter. In a way.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. And you and
But work smarter, not harder. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
no, make it no. I understand what you're saying, but if you're smart, you can find a way to work harder in a safer way.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And say, and because your body is part of your industry. Like this is your body's your
Yes.
business, right? So you're saying like, you know, because I remember this, like going in the city initially when I would go to gyms down there to box, right? They treat you like a piece of meat. They don't give a shit, man.
Yeah.
They're like, it's all bullshit, right? You know, like I don't want to generalize all of them, but the ones I went to,
Yeah.
Like a dollar sign.
exactly. Right. But when I came here, and you would say the same thing, Rich would he was like, he would never throw you in a fight that you weren't ready for. And
Yeah.
if you didn't train, you're not doing it.
No.
Where like other places went late. So you're saying have the people to protect you
Yeah.
in a way, protect you from yourself.
You already had it. You
Yeah.
had everything you need. You think you need anything else, and boom. I'm blessed to be a part of American Top Team, being a part of Hendo Gracie, Rich Latta, everybody. But when you have those like people like overlooking everything, like all right, he can't go with he can't go with Joe Smo that weighed 300 pounds just to
True.
feed his ego.
True.
Or maybe he may not go with that D1 wrestler because
Mhm.
again, I think his leg is hurting.
Yeah.
Just because I think about it, just because I think I want him to do this
Yeah.
to get better with kicks, or maybe he might have to go to Sean or a rehab
Mhm.
or strength and conditioning. I don't, whatever the case may be, because you have that family that cares about you,
Yes.
that want to see you actually
Yeah.
grow.
It's
That
the
is very
evolution.
important.
Yeah.
I think of the sport too. People are going at taking care of their bodies.
Yes.
That's through chiropractic, deep tissue massage,
What was the thing we were
stretching,
talking about before,
nutrition,
the training you were talking about, the high evolution,
Yeah.
high altitude.
Yeah, high altitude
There's,
training.
it's all that. And to be honest with you, consistency and doing everything correctly makes you right in your head.
Mhm.
When you're not, you're not putting the work in. You could fool everybody else, but you're not putting the work in.
Mhm.
That's going to affect you mentally.
Yeah.
You're going to doubt yourself when it comes down to it.
Mhm.
But you're putting the work in. You're taking part. You're doing everything you need to.
Mhm.
You don't have to doubt yourself at all. You're 100% here,
Mhm.
and you're going to go out and be successful.
Mhm.
You've got all the tools.
Mhm.
It comes down to just being training and all that consistency, all those years of being consistent and doing the work.
Mhm.
That's all you're going to showcase all that.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do anything crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's simplicity,
Yes.
consistency,
Mhm.
and then that's going to, the fight's here.
Yeah.
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 They say it's won or lost walking from the locker room to the cage
True.
or the ring.
Yeah.
So
It's
Yeah.
all meant.
you're doing all that mental prep
Yeah.
prior to.
Mhm.
And some people naturally are just stronger
Right.
mentally. They're not. They enjoy the fight. Like what's one of the things I ask you when we talk? You still
having
enjoy?
fun?
Yeah, you having fun? Do you still enjoy it?
Yeah.
Because that competition, yeah, you're showcasing your skills.
Mhm.
But if one day I ask him that question when we get on the phone and talk, and he goes, I don't know if I'm digging it anymore, coach.
Mm.
Yeah.
Time to start thinking about an exit plan.
Yeah.
I've done that with you and other guys.
Yeah.
Hey, you ready for this fight? You enjoying it? I don't know. Give me some thought. You already
Yeah.
answered my question.
Yeah. That's the best saying. I remember I'd taken a fight short notice. We had the fight, everything like that. Rich came back to me next week. He's like, hey, we're going to do another one next month. You want to be on it? And I told him I have to think about it. And his exact words like, if you have to think about it, you don't want to do it. And I was like, you're fucking right.
Yeah.
And that changed my life. Even like that thought process of like when you're questioning something, you really don't
No.
like you can equate that to relationships or
Yep.
any type of thing you want. If you have to think of like if you're questioning it, you really don't want to do it.
No.
You know?
Absolutely.
My problem is that I want to do it.
No, that's the
That's
problem.
what I tell him.
I
He's like,
tell
all right,
him,
let me think about it.
Yeah.
You gotta-
Ask Rich.
Yeah,
He'll
yeah.
tell you.
I said, you got to slow it up a little bit and do more at the level you're at now. You need to just pick the right fights and just enjoy doing it. But he enjoys it so much, he'll fight every weekend.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
You almost got to
Hey,
save
hey,
him from himself
You
at
got
that point.
got the dog in him.
Yeah, no, yeah. Look, he
What
doesn't
you
even
can-
know what round it is half the time. He's like, oh yeah, I'm out here having fun. Yeah. Let's put this guy away, Sid. Yeah, I want to get out.
Plus too, like would you say, and I think Jordan Peterson has the quote of obsession beats talent every time.
Yeah.
You're ultra talented, obviously, ultra athletic and super strong. Like you have all of that, but you also have the obsession mind brain of like you love what you do. You're not working. You know what I mean? Like you love what you do. You never work a day in your life.
And my Dutch people tell you that you overtrain. Oh, you train too much. You need to take a break.
Really?
And I go,
I can see that.
I think I'm on PEDs because of that. But the funny part is like I'm blessed because a lot of people don't know because I'm anemic and they don't understand. Like my anemic is inflammation based. Basically, when I stop, it's hard to get that motor running.
Oh shit!
You know
so
what I
you're
mean?
just constantly, okay.
Not knowing that again, I believe in God. I could go to church all the time,
Okay.
so everything happened for a reason. You know, he didn't know. We didn't know because we keep training. Like, oh, nothing wrong with the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, when I started listening to people, taking breaks and everything,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo, why is it like I mentally I want to like roar,
Yeah,
but my body's like, all right, let me.
yeah,
You know, let me do this work. And
Hey,
it's
man.
funny
you
because
put the work in when you're young. You get older, you might not be able to go 6 days a week. You might only be able to do 5.
You're right.
So I said, while you're young, you put that work in
Mm-hmm.
and enjoy it.
Mhm.
As you get older and you have injuries and different things, you might have to take a day off here and there.
Mhm.
And that's when you do it. You're working that in as you're growing. You're kind of okay, just like sparring. You know, as you get experience, you don't have that many hard sparring sessions.
No.
They're once in a while.
No.
You know, you might end up with once a week up to a fight, and then the last week you ain't doing none of that.
Well said.
You know what I mean?
True,
Same thing when you're grappling.
True.
Right.
You know, it's very
Might be-
fluid.
You're right. You're right. And because of all of that, basically now, even when I'm away in Texas or whatever, my mind said, all right, I have to do this. I get the itch. You know what I mean? Because I've been doing it for so long. I'm training.
Yeah.
I've been training. Even when I do rest, my mindset, my body is like, all right, I got to train. I got to stretch. And I appreciate that because now it is installed. Like, it's in me. You know?
Yeah.
That's those little things that now you're adding, you know, as part of your repertoire, you know, to make you better. But
you know, honestly, you had brought it up before, Sidney and Rich. You've talked about this too, where it's almost like breeding has a lot to do with it. Where it's like if you got a weak chin and thin bones and thin skin and can't cut and get cut all the time and bruise, you're not really made for the fight game. You know what I mean? But but if you're like, you got a head like a log and heavy hands and all that shit, like you were born to do this. You know what I mean? And I truly think like you found your calling in this and your discipline and everything. You just gone to the next level, dude. And I can't tell you.
Back to school when you get older.
True.
That's always say. You can always go back. You can learn a trade. You can always go back to school when you're older. But you can't go at 30 and go, hey, you know, I think I want to try this MMA thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you got to start that. You got to start that young.
Yeah.
And then go.
True. Very true.
You know, there's other things you can do when you get older.
True.
And you know, I want to ask Coach Rich this question because I never thought because I mean I know I was gifted with the whole strength part,
yes,
or whatever, or I know I didn't notice that.
Right.
But long story short, I don't necessarily think I was talented. I thought I was. Well, I mean, me humbly thinking about it, I think I was like
you're blessed with athleticism.
Yeah, like so when I was younger.
Yes, very much.
You know, out of everybody,
very much so.
You think I was athletic?
Yeah,
you're athletic, but you're saying as talent.
Football.
You're saying like talent as you're saying like a talented athlete as like you can pick up anything and do it and be good at it, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like you have athleticism, sure, but yeah, I feel like you were made to when you got down and grappling and rolling around and throwing. I
enjoy doing.
Yeah,
I enjoy doing that. Now, was I good at it at first? I remember James.
No one's good at this shit at first.
So I don't have to show you 10 times. You could do it 1 or 2 times. You knew it, and then we would just stick to it and get fine tune it. You could visually, all those little things.
Can I be honest? When you had to repeat yourself, it made me kind of think, all right, then you either got to really listen to or you can try like everybody else and hey, no stupid question, right?
Don't be afraid, dude. That's one thing I tell. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And when they show a move and say, "Do you have any questions?" and you have a question, don't ask it. Don't be stupid. Ask the goddamn.
You know what? Coach Rich back in the day, if anybody else, but when he was preparing for a fight. You fighting, you competing. Now, if you ask me, you just like a Joe Smo or whatever, a nice person.
Yeah.
You ask me, I had no problem answering the question. We'll be there for hours answering that one simple question.
But oh, you're competing.
Yeah,
that's
you
so
should know
different.
better. Yeah.
That's so, you got to drill.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to show you something, and I'm going to watch you do it. And
Yeah.
if you stop to ask me any stupid ass question,
Yeah.
oh, we gonna have a problem. You know, if I gotta show you, I have no problem showing you. When he used to say, he used to tell us to do something. I think it was James or Jeremy, whatever.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, I don't know if they were fussing back or even asking a serious question.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, hold on. I'm like,
Yeah.
so like the man gonna get his gloves, bro. The man's gonna get his gloves. Just pretend you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not even looking at him. I'm training with James.
Yeah.
I'm focusing on my shit.
Yeah. You're like, I'm not that guy. How much, dude? How like when Rich shows a move on you too? How like when he's like, all right, we're here, and then you're gonna throw a knee, and then it's wham,
Yeah.
you get nailed with the knee. You're like, all right.
I don't even say anything. I just,
Yeah, that was like, yeah, you know what's coming, but it's fun. You know what I mean? But it's all part of it.
It's
and
love, man.
It's
It's
all.
awesome.
It's honestly, I feel like
Look, you're going out there doing a contact sport.
Yeah.
True.
You can get hurt.
yeah.
You care. That's
Yes,
what
I
No one
care.
cares. I would say no one cares more than Rich.
Yeah.
I would say, and it's everyone in here, and I think that's part of like the family atmosphere that's built here that we've talked about so many times, the culture here. And I mean, you know, Rich is a big part of that, but you're a big part of that too, where like we've all come up as a family in a group, you know what I mean? And I think we all generally have everyone's best interest at heart. Even when we were in camp and stuff, there wasn't like oh, I want to be the best one in camp or whatever, you know what I mean? It's all like we're here, training partners are your tools, and we all work together, you know. And I think that's something that shows, and that's what real growth comes from. But all right, we are coming towards the top of time though. Rich, I mean, thank you again for being here. Do you have anything you want to say to, you know, everybody out there listening before we get out of here?
Sid's fight
Sid's fight.
in March. Bellator.
Yep.
Showtime, right?
You'll enjoy it. Watch. I'm all of them. Don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about who it is.
Yeah.
We got the whole entire roster we have to take care of. And on top of that, my goal is to be better than everybody at 155 pounds.
I already
And now I think with the help,
that's it. That's it.
with that with the help of the family, like I mean, we got Dan Lambert, we have, you know, Mike, there's so many people. We got Pitbull, thank you guys. And now I'm back with freaking Rich Latta. Rich Latta gonna make me a Latta.
Yeah.
But I want to say thank you guys, and yeah. This isn't you don't when I'm out there, you're not seeing that one person, you're seeing a bunch of people.
You're getting your money's worth. Amen.
So
No wasted money watching
awesome
this.
to see it.
Sid,
It's really
man,
awesome.
thank you so much for being on, brother. Super appreciate it, dude. We asked this to everybody, but if you'd be willing, we'd love to have you back on the show.
Oh, please, am I allowed back on this?
Oh, come on, man. This is great. Rich, thanks again for being on.
Thank you, buddy.
So this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied today by the one and only Rich Latta, the future champ Sidney Outlaw. And in case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content and all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram, Working Perspectives Podcast. You can join us on the Twitter and the TikTok, the Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workperspectives@gmail.com. And please like, subscribe, so we keep bringing you this sweet, sweet content. Thanks for listening. Stick around for the ad read. Thanks. See you.
You are dope.
That was
bro.
great.
Dude, what a show, huh?